We're going to start the show tonight with some bold predictions. Now, always risky doing bold predictions, right? Because they're not bold if there's something that's likely to happen. They're bold if it's something that would make you go, whoa, I can't believe that happened, right? So bold predictions tonight could be anything in college football. I've got some, you've got some. So let's get into bold predictions tonight. There were a lot of things to think about on this. I want to start with you, Eltoro. Give me your first bold prediction for the 2026 season.
Louisville upset Ole Miss.
I like it. That's right out the gate, right? Week 1?
Right out the gate.
Man.
You know, Louisville a very scary, dangerous team. You know, Ole Miss. If Ole Miss not at the top of their game, it can get grimy. It can get real grimy. They did it before last year with Miami.
Yeah. And you see it, but it seems like they do it every year, right? I mean,
yes.
Louisville seems to be giant killers about once a year. You know what? It's bold. It's unexpected. Nobody's going to be looking for it, but it could happen, man. It could happen. All right, I'm going to give you my first one. You ready for this?
What you got, Jay?
The Ohio State Buckeyes will not make the college football playoff.
Ooh.
Look, I've got reasons. I'm going to give them to you real quick. They lost, I believe it's 7 starters on defense. 4 of them were first-round draft picks, man. I like Julian Sayin as a quarterback. I don't think he's very dynamic. He's a high completion guy. He's going to throw it underneath. He's going to take the safe play. He's not going to take any chances. But you've got Jeremiah Smith out there. I would rather have a gunslinger if I got Jeremiah Smith out there. But I think when I look at the schedule this year, they're at Texas in week 2. That's tough.
Huge game.
They're at Iowa coming up 3 weeks later. And Iowa can get sneaky on you, man. They're going to run the ball. They're going to shorten the game. They're going to chew the clock and then try to get into the fourth quarter with you. 2 weeks after that, they go on the road to the defending national champs, Indiana. Then they get an off week. Then they go out to California to take on USC. And you get out to USC, you got a coach who's coaching for his job. You got a team that had a number 1 recruiting class a year ago. You've got some talent at USC. Jaden Maeva is a good quarterback. So I look at that as a potential loss. Then they come home and they got to play Oregon. Oregon may have the best team this year that they've ever had in school history. Just in terms of raw talent, maybe their best one.
I agree with that.
And then they end the season, of course, at home with Michigan. We know that Ryan Day has struggled with Michigan at times. I'm thinking this team finds a way into 3 losses. And everybody will argue that they should get in because they had a hard schedule. But I think there's going to be other 3-loss teams with better schedules. I think it's possible that Ohio State gets left out of the playoff.
Now, Jay, before you gave me that breakdown, Jay, I was like, man, you out of your mind. But when you gave me that breakdown, Jay, I can kind of see why you say that.
It's a bold prediction. I'm not expecting it. I'm just telling you it could happen.
Yeah, it makes sense. Your breakdown makes sense.
I think that would blow everybody's mind. I know it would blow mine. All right, what you got for me?
Florida Gators make the college football playoffs.
All right, so we've been talking Florida. We're both pretty high on Florida. They would probably have to get to 10 wins to get there.
Mm-hmm.
They need to pull a couple of upsets this season. They do get Texas in the swamp. That would be a big one.
Man, that'll be huge.
All right, the Florida Gators. All right, for that to happen, though, Aaron Philo, transfer quarterback from Georgia Tech, who I think is going to win the starting job, although I hear it's like 50-50 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not – I have thought about that. I have trouble getting them past 9, but 10's just one more win.
One more, Jay.
Yeah, it's just one more, man.
Yeah.
Field goal, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right, I got another one for you. The Oklahoma Sooners finished the season outside of the top 25. I'll tell you where I'm going. And again, I always look at schedule. I just think it matters. They got to go to the big house in week 2. They go to Michigan. Now, Michigan's got a new coach, but it's not just any new coach. You know, I mean, we're talking about a guy who's won an incredible amount of games at Utah, and he's going to be physical. He's going to run the ball. He's going to play defense. All the things that Michigan is kind of known for, right? So you get him on the road at the Big House in week 2. That could be tricky. Then in week 4, they're on the road at Georgia in Athens. We know what that is. Then they got Texas in the Red River game, neutral site. Back-to-back weeks, Georgia and Texas. They could be 2-3 after 5 games if all that happens. At Mississippi State could be tricky if you're 2 or say you're 3-3 at that time, and you know you're on life support at that point.
Right. No momentum.
They come home, play South Carolina, on the road to the Florida Gators that you just projected in the playoff. Then they're hosting Ole Miss, hosting Texas A&M, and then finish it on the road to Missouri. This could be a 7-5 team when it's all said and done, man.
No, without a question. Without a question, Jay.
All right, what else you got for me?
Now, you know I'm going to say the best one for last, Jay.
I know. What else?
Are you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Auburn beats Alabama in the Iron Bowl. Knocks them out of the playoff. Knocks them out of the playoff and possibly out of the top 25.
There's some Bama fans like palpitating a little bit over the thought of that. And look, I told you the other day, I'm not expecting Auburn to win the Iron Bowl this year because they haven't won in Tuscaloosa in a long time, and it's first year for Golish. It's bold, but I'm not discounting it. All right, my final one. Here we go. Bold prediction. Dan Mullen will lead UNLV to the college football playoff and then return to the Power 4 as a head coach. Are you ready for this? At his old school Mississippi State.
Love it.
It's weird. That. A lot of things would have to happen for that to happen. But think about
Jay. That is not out of the question. I mean, that's possible, Jay.
Now, UNLV, the thing with UNLV is they won, I guess, 9-10 games last year when you count the postseason. So they were there. I mean, now they've got Jackson Arnold, who I know you're familiar with.
Yeah.
Jackson Arnold can run, man. And Dan's not asking you to make like quick on the spot decisions. Dan wants you to zone read it, keep it or don't keep it, and he can run. And I think we're working with Mullen. He can get just enough out of Jackson Arnold. I really like Boise State too, to maybe be the G6 representative in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But to make it fit my bold prediction, let's go UNLV and Dan Mullen. And then if Mississippi State with Kamario Taylor doesn't have the kind of season that Lebby needs, it's a new era. It's a new era with the NIL and the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. Dan Mullen's, when he went to Florida, the problem was that they said, well, he's not recruiting at a high enough level. Well, he doesn't have to do that anymore. You hire a GM and you let them handle the recruiting side and the budget and all that. His job is to coach football, right? Mm-hmm. And lead players. And he's good at coaching football. And I think Mississippi State's hungry to win. I think, all's fair in love and war, man. You welcome him back in, and Dan, it's good to have you home.
And I tell you what, man, it haven't been the same since he left, since his departure, So, I mean, I like it, Jay.
Bold predictions. I think they're bold, but man, I don't think any of those are completely impossible, man.
Oh, without a doubt.